I've done this. I've looked at letting out my work to, well, 40,000 word book. But when I got the book back to go over, there was so many spelling mistakes. There was more typos than I could have imagined. The grammar was all over the place. You could see where the ghostwriter, the ghostwriting company, or the writer for the company, but the company is still to blame for hiring those people in the first place. So many mistakes, and you could see where they'd cut and pasted sections from the internet, because there'd be measurements in, say, imperial, and then a few chapters away there'd be measurements in metric. There'd be miles, there'd be kilometers, there'd be differences, there'd be hyphens in some word, between some words, and no hyphens at all in others. The same words in different sections. So using a ghostwriter doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. You have to do a lot of work. Okay, maybe not quite as much work as you'd have done if you'd have produced the book yourself, but still a lot of work, sort of more of an annoyance, because you're going over things, you're thinking, well, how could they do that? Why have they done this? Why? So in some parts of your new book, you could spend an awful lot of time, maybe more time than you would if you'd have wrote it yourself, in those sections. Overall, it's a quicker process, but is it worth the money? So for 40,000 words, you could be talking anywhere between maybe 500 and 1,000 subs to do that, for somebody else to do that. And then you've got to spend weeks, days at least, but weeks, maybe even months, going over and over it to make sure it's right for your customers, because it'll likely be a mess. If you just get the book back, the manuscript back from the ghostwriter and publish it to Amazon, you're asking for trouble. It doesn't end with the ghostwriter. That's just the start. You've got to go over everything then. You've got to make sure everything's right. So for some people, you know, the well-known professionals and who can afford a really good ghostwriter, it probably isn't so bad. But for someone who wants to spend a few hundred subs on a ghostwriter for 20, 30, 40,000 words or more, the quality is not going to be, or likely not going to be, too hot. So consider that. I've only had one book ghostwritten, and that was really just to test it. And I didn't like it. So I mean, I've written a book of 80,000 words myself, and quite a few in the 20 and 30,000 word. But if people can't write, I understand it. But at the same time, learn to write. It's not all that hard. All the information you've got is on the internet. You can just type it in, and how can I do that? What does a hyphen mean? Where should I put the full stops and inverted commas? And you'll find all the information you need. Send it off then to a proofreader, a copy editor, and or a combination of the two, like I do, which I got from Upwork. And these are things I'll be talking about, and how to do this as we go along. This is a brand new channel, brand new subject on my channel. So, you know, it's something that's going to develop. You still really, ideally, want it proofread. So yeah, if you want to go the route of a ghostwriter, and people do, people fall lucky, they have a simple book made. But remember that the ghostwriters, a lot of them, when you're paying a small amount of money, don't expect a lot. If you're not paying a lot, you're not going to get a lot. Or you might not get a lot. You're going to get somebody, I keep saying you will, but there's such a high chance that you will Get somebody that will cut and paste the whole book from everybody else's stuff online. People have published books from ghostwriters and they've been knocked back on KDP because there's plagiarism. So yeah, be careful with the ghostwriters. It can work for people. It does work for people. People make a lot of money with ghostwriters. Ghostwriters make a lot of money. But really, really look into that, and don't forget, when you get your book back, your manuscript back, that's just the first part out the way. There's a lot of work to be done after that. It's up to you to make sure it goes up, it's published without any errors. So that's about it for that.